Hello, and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be playing some more Tiny Bunny. I won't lie, this one is probably the most obvious horror game out of all the ones we've played in this month. But I'm really enjoying it, even if it's made me recoil a couple of times. But yeah, let's dive straight back into the save here. So we had a choice to make when we left off last time. We'll examine the things that we can examine first, but basically we can either go with Alyssa or Polina. Somebody left their school shoes on the windowsill. Judging from their size, they belong to a boy my age. Okay. Turn me around and I'll tell you who's stupid. I bet something offensive is written on the other side. I wonder how long would Semyon keep turning it around if it fell into his hands? An abandoned zinc bucket with a rag on the bottom, filled to the brim with murky tap water. It reeked of salty chemicals, and the stench was so intense that I felt sick. I staggered away from it, praying that I don't meet the same fate as the person on cleaning duty. I wonder what fate... So, we need to think. Now, the sort of dad part of me, the protective part of me, is saying go with Polina. You know, walk her home, make sure she's safe. However, Alyssa, weird, creepy fox lady who wants to take us into the wood. I feel like that might be the more interesting path. So in terms of game, playthrough, that might be the one to take. So I'm sorry, Polina. I would love to walk you home and make sure you're safe, but I'm going to go into the woods with Crazy Fox Lady. After closing my backpack, I ran down the stairs. I scanned my surroundings through the window in the main hall. Nobody suspicious in sight. The school doors creaked. The sound was similar to the music from a thriller, the high note that comes before an intense scene. I ran around the school corner trying not to catch anyone's attention. The smell of pastry and burnt sugar wafted from the school cafeteria. I froze when I saw a silhouette in the second floor window. It must be Polina, gliding a bow on violin strings with her head slightly tilted to the side. I wish I could hear the melody she played, but Polina was only a dark outline on the window's yellow sheet. Can we see her here? I don't think we can. I dragged my feet forward. Thrax, Poba, Prava. Not sure what that means. I did actually do Russian at school, interestingly. But seeing as that was probably about 25 years ago, not a lot of it remains. The net on a football goal in the yard fluttered in the wind. The same wind that hurled small white whirlwinds through the field. Somewhere nearby, an invisible tractor was humming, scaring away the crowd of cawing birds. The hum of its engine sounded like the howls of hungry beasts that chased me through the snowy desert. Alyssa and her scary mask also came to mind. Right now, in the light of day, it was really hard to believe she was real. What did she say back then? At the backyard, near the hanged man? Ah, yeah. What did she mean by that? She meant this. Oh, look at the squizzle. A forest squirrel chomping on sunflower seeds. Someone from the school is probably feeding her. Interesting. Got a spooky man back here. Excuse me. The silhouette turned around the corner and walked deeper into the dead end, leaving cigarette smoke in its wake. It was an adult. A teacher, maybe? It was the guy by the gate this morning, I think, wasn't it? But this is what we're looking for. I looked at the wall. There was a hanged man drawn under the thin black line of resin. Someone played hangman here. Something was scribbled on both sides of the man. Escape. Fear. Truth. Ah, yeah, I remember there used to be a Soviet newspaper called Pravda, I think, which was truth. So prava, maybe that's the verb for it. Come closer, sweetheart. It took me a while to realise where the sound was coming from. My eyes strolled through the cul-de-sac at the school backyard, through windows and snow. I guess we examine this. One of the snow piles started trembling like a volcano before it erupts. Give me your heart! In the blink of an eye, the white crust crumbled and a fox jumped at me. She made a gracious bow, enjoying the effect her appearance had on me. The silver of snow shined on her coat. I couldn't even imagine that thinking about girls with tails can be this... I don't know what to compare it to. Something infectious? Toxically sweet? Fight back or your heart is in my bag! Oh, her giggle is horrible, isn't it? She giggled so enthusiastically that it forced me to smile. Oh, come on. I quickly rolled a ball of snow and threw it at Elisa. She tried to dodge, but it was too late. A hit to the shoulder. Ah, you insolent boy! Yeah, that's me. The fox slowly backed down, trying to arm herself. You are sly, but I am a fox. I think out of the box. Her retribution was swift. A snowball arched its way above the snowy yard and the ravens flying in the air. I wanted to duck, but slipped and fell to my knees. And while I was getting up, I caught a huge chunk of snow with my face. It burned up from the cold. I swore loudly from immense disappointment. Using the words I heard in Sektor Gaza's songs on the cassettes I hid from my parents. Sektor Gaza, a Soviet and Russian rock band that played the so-called kolkhoz hillbilly punk, founded by songwriter and singer Yuri Klinskik. The band often paid homages to popular Western rock bands and used a lot of profanity and fairy tale themes in their lyrics. Supposedly died from overdosing on drugs. A lot of dead people in here, isn't there? I wonder if that's intentional. If Dad heard this, he would have definitely given me a good whipping. He had very low tolerance towards obscene words and always communicated in clean Russian. Oh, come on. It can't hurt that much. She brushed off my hood as if to show compassion, took me by the elbow and helped me get up. With care uncharacteristic for a child, she took off my glasses, seeing a few little typos here and there, blew away the snowflakes that were stuck to them and handed them back. Now we're even, Tosha. Only people who were close to me called me that, and I haven't even seen her real face, didn't know her last name, what class she was from, and if she had a real tail under her coat. Want to get ahead? We were going to look for Vova, remember? We better hurry before my parents start looking for me. The fox let out a lazy yawn. Oh, look at that mouth again. Parents! Don't be so boring! Let's play for a bit. You're always bored at home anyway. And how do you know that? It's not even a secret. It's always way too boring being locked up in a house full of adults. I get all jittery from both houses and parents, see? Her furry fox brow started twitching. I faked a laugh in reply, unsure whether being able to move parts of her mask like that was genuinely funny or not. Come on, Tosha, don't be scared. I can see you want to play. And if you win? The fox girl got dangerously close to me and stood on her tiptoes, almost touching my face with her rough little nose. Playful fires danced deep in her eyes. She smelled nice, like berries in saccharin. Is this the smell of independence and true freedom? I mean the kind where all you have to do in your life is run wild and eat sweets. Her whisper poured into my ear like scalding hot water. If you win, I'll be your guide. Believe me, I have lots of things to show you. We'll surely find your Vova for one. I felt as if a giant invisible spring bent inside me. My tummy hurt, but the sensation was somehow not exactly unpleasant. It was so weird. I just had a conversation with Polina, and now Elisa was going to drag me along with her. And what if I lose? I'll claw out your soul, softy! Come on, let's go. She burst out laughing, whipped the hem of her coat and ran towards the road we used to come to school in the morning. Or we used to come to school in the morning. Her promise. That sounded almost like a threat. Actually, I think that is a D next to the A. I think that is Pravda. I think it just looks quite similar to an A. But anyway, hypnotized me. I bent down and scooped up some snow. I wish I had a device that could tell whether Elisa was joking or being serious. Or is there always a third option with people like her? Between her jokes, her laughter, and her hot breath on my ear, I wanted to win. To punish her for the lightness and freedom she possessed that was clearly too much for an average girl. When I, on the other hand, was possessed, or rather intoxicated, by the thirst for adventure, by my curiosity. Just like that time when I ate the cherries from Mum's nalivka and lied down with my eyes closed while the bed was spinning underneath me. Sounds like he got drunk. Nalivka, a sweet alcoholic drink made from fruits and berries, often called berry vodka. It normally contains only 25 to 30% of alcohol. Only. I spat, then cleaned my lips. Do you want to play, little sister fox? Well then, let's play. I armed myself with a snowball and chased the fleeing fox girl. I saw a familiar street with the wooden posts that didn't look scary anymore. They were just logs covered in snow. If I were to shout now, the guard dogs would start barking and their owners would peek out of their windows. Elisa's small silhouette was mocking me from far away, so it was useless to try hitting her with a snowball for now. Waste of ammunition. Birches, mutilated by the cold, peeked out to view along the clear road. A giant snow pile towered near one of the trees. This was probably the place where the tractor brought all the snow from the village. A whole family of foxes would fit in such a pile. No, I thought, she's the only fox around here. She alone is already too much. My second morning acquaintance was running around near the edge of the forest, the stray dog with a mangy tail. She sniffed around and marked the naked berry bushes and ran towards the other ones. Elisa showed up from under the hill. Julka, follow me, girl. The dog's ears perked up. It barked in agreement and followed her lead. We ran farther and farther, exchanging snowballs, laughing and stumbling. The winter forest towered in front of us, reaching for the low clouds. We were at the edge of its shadow, bony and almost corporeal. The fox hid behind a huge pine, clearly trying to get close to me, and shoved some snow down my collar. It was a good plan, but Julka, who was running circles around her, gave her away. I broke off a dry branch and decided to act even trickier. I put my hat on it and peeked out from the other side of the pine. I'll make her think that it's my head. I bit my lip to stop myself from laughing, then jumped out from the other side and performed a point-blank throw. Elisa probably cracked my plan right away, but she still let me win 3-1. I was wounded in the leg, and she got shot in the chest and in the stomach, losing imaginary blood in front of my eyes. Pleading for mercy, while also choking from laughter. Ah, please, mercy. Oh, I'm dying. Okay, I'll let you live. Thank you, O valiant knight. She pretended to bow to me, then grabbed 2 full handfuls of snow and, like a dying warrior, threw them my way in a last-ditch effort. I dodged her attack easily, laughing uncontrollably and being mad at the same time. I finished her with 2 precise shots. You'll let me live, huh? Learn me how to do it if you're so smart. Shut up, you're already dead. Ha! When did that stop me? Ooh. Let's play something more interesting. She dashed behind the trees after blowing snow in my direction. 1, 2, time to play with you. 3, 4, 5, the owl will arrive. I hesitantly moved towards the windfall. 6 on end, the wolf's grey fur will stand. That doesn't rhyme. I thought it was a real tail gliding across the bushes. I rushed to the intertwined branches that helped Elisa to hide, as if something was pulling me there. I had to move them, tear them off like a spiderweb. Branches sprang back in my face, but it felt like they were caressing my cheeks and not hitting them. I was sweating, but still had a lot of stamina left. I'll make sure to catch you, little fox. Elisa's voice was wandering among the windfall. 7, 8, stomp your hooves in wait. Ha ha ha. Seems like I underestimated you. I thought you were just a boy. Confident that she was behind the dry pine, I rushed to intercept her. But the local acoustics tricked me. Her voice was already echoing from the other side. "And you're a bunny. So nimble, so cute. Ha ha ha." A snowball flew at me from the shadows, whistling near my ear. "I'll show you a bunny." "Yeah, do that. Show me." A bright fox fur coat flashed near a rotten stump. I rushed there, jumping over a ravine. "Bunny, show yourself, be brave. Give the beasts fresh meat they crave." This furry collar that flashed from every tree was the most important thing in the world for me. My lips started trembling, as if I was a cowboy that was chasing his prey. One jump, and the fox was in my embrace, so smooth and desirable. "Fine, fine, you win." She leaned against the scratchy bark and started puffing. "Please, let's have a break. You're too fast, too strong, too tasty." Satisfied, I put my hands on my sides, waiting for the spoils of war from the defeated girl. But what I got instead was a sly snowball in my smug face. The cunning fox ran away, roaring with laughter, but I wasn't even mad about it. I needed to catch up to Elisa, to tackle and subdue her. Tear off her mask and see everything. Poor little bunny jumps around in the wet pine forest, afraid of getting eaten by the big grey wolf, thinking of hot summer, keeping his ears low, sneaking glances at the hidden sky. The sky really did disappear under the trees. I moved using the barking of Julka as a guide, since she was closely following her owner. And I was getting closer. And the same trail I imagined back at school blinked under my feet. It turned out that running like there's no tomorrow was so easy. Faster, higher, faster. I felt like there was a well of untapped potential inside me, and I drew from it. My muscles were buzzing, my lungs felt bigger, and I felt much stronger overall. Even my vision became sharper. I saw every icy branch, every dent in the bark. Something colourful was lying near the bushes, a piece of clothing. Another colourful spot to the right. Elisa was losing her clothes on the run, like shedding her skin. I also used my teeth to take off my mittens, excited by all that. I'll get naked and feel all the wind to the last drop. Faster. I reached out to take off my hat, to throw away everything that stops me from running wild in this endless forest. The backpack slowed me down, so I threw it in the snow, along with all the pens that were inside, with all the notebooks, all of my drawings on the sidelines, and a dinosaur for Olya. Olya. Suddenly, a clear picture appeared in my mind. My sister, standing still near a window, basking in the dusking sun. Her small childish palms are pressed to the glass, leaving marks where they warmed it up. She could warm up the whole world like that. She's looking at the tiger and saying my name. "Tosha!" I stopped, took a deep breath and realised how rash and stupid I was, trying to undress in the middle of a forest while chasing a fox. I returned to get my backpack, as if it was part of my being I dropped. I remembered again how my sister didn't like to be left home alone, how she asked me to come home faster. What kind of brother am I? Running in the forest that I used to scare my sister with? I'm having fun, while she's not even allowed over the doorstep. Sit in your cage, Olya, and watch the same cartoons over and over. Tosha! Yes, Olya? Tosha, where are you?
Where are you hopping to, fucker?
From the darkness behind the pines, just like cavemen from their cave, appeared smirking Semyon with a bunch of his cronies.
Yo, and Toshka. Thought you could slip... Oh, this is this one.
Thought you could slip away, huh?
Check out this Four Eyes freak, eh?
They surrounded me like a carnivorous pride, making me step back. The smell of sweat and tobacco attacked my nostrils. The inside of my mouth felt salty, as if I'd licked a battery. Alisa! The name of my companion turned into a stifled cough. Pines were swaying back and forth like solemn guardians. I was frantically looking everywhere. I dreamt of finding that fox among the trees, expected her to come to my rescue. but only the wind replied to my pleas. Where's Alyssa? What did you do to her? I shuddered after hearing my own voice. It sounded unnatural, rough and scary. His coat says the North fake. Who the fuck's Alyssa? Can't quite get his voice right. Did you hit your head? Whatever, we'll fix you right up. The fatso spit through the gap in his teeth and pushed me so hard that I hit my back against a tree. So, feeling better now? It can't be. Did Alyssa really lure me into a trap? To these bastards? Oh no, I can't believe this. We don't know who... Oh, it's probably... Is it this one?
Looky here, guys. He's not so brave here compared to the school.
Total wimp, eh?
You fucked with the wrong guy, transfer student. Semyon was moving toward me, readying his fist. In that moment, the other delinquent in track pants made a loud whistle, and the hulking boy lowered his hand. It was unexpected. It seems like Baburin wasn't the leader of this gang. In reality, they were all listening to the boy who was looking like a small carnivore with very strong, sharp teeth. Probably decided to have some fun at my expense first.
Hey, faggot junior. Is this your Elisa?
Only then I noticed Julka beside my legs, trembling from the cold, snow plastered all over its fur. The delinquent squatted in front of the dog and beckoned it with his hand.
Oh my. Alyssa, come here, you flea-ridden bitch.
The others let out nasty laughs. The dog's ears perked up and she started carefully moving closer.
Yeah, come here, I've got something for you.
Oh, Julka! The dog didn't even have a chance to sniff him when this animal abuser caught it by the ear and kicked it right under the tail so hard it flew into the nearest snow pile, squealing. Oh, I hope the wolves get you. The whole gang burst out laughing and my heart got encrusted in ice. Even the birds that were perched up on tree branches let out frightened caws. At the edge of my vision, I saw something flash in the illusory twilight of the sleeping forest. Or was that just bushes moving their icy branches in the wind?
Romka won't be able to shit after this. Let me kick the fucking thing one more time. 2 negatives will make a positive.
But the stray was already nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, what are you, an idiot? Go and show the Four Eyes his place. In a way he'll understand.
Yeah, he fucking owes you. This wimp whacked you in front of the whole class.
Sure thing.
Semyon brought a sizable signet ring with some geometric shape carved in it up to my face.
In a moment, I'll hit your faggot face so hard it will leave a mark for the rest of your life.
Where did all of my inner strength and bravery go? Stop! A wheezy whisper left my lips and my head tilted forward, hitting Semyon's fist. Red sparks flew from my eyes.
Biasha, give me a hand.
Semyon gave me a rough push towards the bastard with the slanting eyes and he tripped me. I fell on the sharp crust of ice and the fatso stepped on my hand, preventing me from getting up. A painful groan escaped my throat.
Did you hear him whimper?
I'm sorry for repeating this word. I know it's an offensive word. These are bullies. It's not me saying this. It is the text as it is in the game.
Is he actually a faggot or something?
I started to lose breath from anger and resentment. The pain was growing. My ear was hot and pulsating pain was shooting through it, like it was cut off and a ball of nettle was sewn in its place. Which one's Roman?
Why so silent, Antoshka?
Oh, I'm not going to repeat that word again. I'll just say F word.
Come on, tell us, are you an F word?
At this moment I felt pure, unbridled rage, the amalgamation of my anger. Like the sprout's ink, it rose up from the depths of my mind, filling all my thoughts. Morons! Did you know that my dad...
He's also a F word.
Semyon burst out laughing. This became the last straw. Fear and anger were grappling inside me like mad dogs. He knows Aikido, got it? And he's a vet. He'll kill the likes of you with his eyes closed. One word from me, and he'll... Romka lifted up his arm, stopping my torrent of lies, and made a couple of steps forward. Semyon slowly backed off, giving me an opportunity to stand up. Did he believe me? Or was he confused by my face twisted with rage?
A vet, you say? My dad also fought in the war. In Afghan. And yours?
Mine too.
Oh, really? And what force did he serve in?
I stumbled. Fear chomped at my rage's throat and made it bleed.
He's full of shit, Romka. Sure as fuck, eh?
Do you think I'm so easy to trick? I can see through all your lies, little bitch.
There was a nasty smile on his face now. This didn't bode well for me.
Well, you've asked for this.
The teacher saved you at school, but here... you're fucked. That's right. Pray they find your dead body come spring, eh?
If you only stayed silent, wouldn't have lost a hair. Hitting Fatso is one thing. But fucking around with stuff like Afghan where my dad spent time under fire, on international duty in fucking Dasht Imago.
Dasht Imago, a desert region in the southern provinces of Helmand and Nimruz in Afghanistan. Its name can be translated into English as Plain of Death. During the conflict in Afghanistan, the Soviet army destroyed countless drug caravans headed to Iran there.
Give him a good pounding, Sioma.
The delinquents closed in on me again and I ended up in front of Semyon. Blood was pumping in my temples. Branches were swaying back and forth as if whispering something, giving me hope. I gritted my teeth, fighting the thought that I looked silly, and took a boxing stance I often saw in the movies.
What are you, fucking Mike Tyson?
This was my first ever fight. I'll remember it for the rest of my life, if I don't kick the bucket, of course. At the edge of my vision, I noticed the darkness writhe again, as if someone was walking back and forth there. I sensed Roma's claws grab my backpack.
Gimme your shit, Antoshka. It'll get in the way.
I was about to refuse, unwilling to cooperate with the bastard, but then he fished a butterfly knife out of his pocket with one smooth motion, spun it as if showing it off, and put the blade to my neck.
Hey, easy, buddy. I can make it painful.
I let out a cloud of steam instead of words. Romka pulled with all his might and my backpack ended up in his hands. Calm and relaxed. An insidious smile on his face, he looked into my backpack.
Are you hiding something from us? Some rat stole my school shoes. Let me see if it was... what's this?
Romka gave me a dubious smile. All my stuff.
So, what do we have here?
My text and notebooks fell in snow. He was holding my backpack in one hand and something weird in the other. It looked like... a mask. Roma lifted it high as if showing to someone else, to someone in the treetops, in the twilight among the trees. An old bunny mask. Long worn-out ears, barely visible nose and whiskers, mangy fur on the sides. Where did it come from? Who put it there? Semyon laughed.
It's way past New Year's, moron. Or are you really a loony?
It's not mine. How come it's not? It was in your backpack.
Romka was watching this scene unfold with an evil smile on his face.
You know what? Put it on.
Why?
'Cause I'm telling you to. You'll hop like a bunny for us.
Yeah, come on. Or we'll leave you pantsless, eh?
Oh, anything but this. What if someone from our class passes by? I won't.
Sioma, put it on him.
Biasha rushed to his friend's side and took the worn-out mask from him with a buffoonish bow. Then he passed it to Semyon, who was already rubbing his hands in anticipation. I looked around the pine woods, as if waiting for help, as if the shadows that writhed around us would take pity on me and take to my side. Branches looked like arms, twisted in unusual angles. Blackened bark was their charred skin, and the darkness was the smoke they produced. I can't run. Won't get away, they'll catch me. And then...
Let me warn you, Sioma. If he won't hop, you'll take his place. Got it?
This piece of shit won't. Just look at him, he's a total loony.
This loony has already smacked you in the face.
Romka's right. Come on, Fatso, assert your fucking dominance.
Or we'll make you hop so hard your pig tits will fall off.
He must indeed be scared of Romka. Semyon swore silently and glared at me.
Here, you'll fit better this way.
Oh, stop spitting in things. He hurled a huge ball of spit on the inside of the plastic bunny face and put it close to mine. His spit looked like a squashed spider. Romka's face twisted. He spasmed like a beast, like he wanted to tell Semyon something, but then he suddenly stopped. Semyon was still close by, with a disgusting smirk on his face and a terrible smell coming from his mouth.
Put it on fast, or you're dead.
The mask almost looked even more disgusting now, yet, despite everything, I felt like it was a chance for salvation. It could become my second skin. If only I was to put it on, if only my face was to touch its bumpy surface. I'm sure the fur will glitter, the ears will tremble like they're alive. I just need to put it on, and Semyon and his friends will be gone. Forever. Oh god, I mean, obviously the easy option is just to say F off. But I think we need to lean into the sort of mysticism of this game and sort of trying to follow this sort of spiritual occult stuff to its kind of conclusion, I think. So we're going to put on the horrible spitty mask. I reached out. My hand wasn't shaking anymore. Semyon handed me the mask and let out an evil laugh. The fur felt warm to the touch, just like I expected. I got goosebumps. Electricity flowed through my spine. This is it, my salvation. A voice whispered to me from the well of my subconscious. Just put it on, and nobody will hurt you. The forest froze, gazing at me with cracks in the bark. I acted slowly. I took off my glasses. Got rid of the nasty spit on the papier-mâché. Good, I'm glad he did that. There was movement inside of the bunny face, as if something was trying to break out. And I needed to help it. I lifted up the mask and started moving it toward my flaming cheeks. Just like in that movie with Jim Carrey. This mask had power. This mask had strength. Carton. Carton touched my skin. It enveloped my skull, my nose, took the shape of my face. It smelled like an animal lair and pine. My lips touched some sort of hard, wavy material. My armour. Strangely enough, through the slits of the old carnival mask, I was able to see as good as through my glasses. A trio of boys frozen in the clearing. Snowflakes frozen in the air. The trees, whose shadows formed black streams toward me. And a weird silhouette in the early twilight behind the windfall. In all that silence, Semyon nervously whispered, "Hey guys, what's up with him?" I broadened my shoulders. My muscles felt like they were made of steel. Invisible plumes of fog flew toward me, breaking off the trees. I was absorbing the forest's power with every pore of my body. I smiled underneath the mask. No, I showed my teeth. My fists were itching. My stomach was growling.
He's turning.
You asked for this. I made a step forward. Semyon carefully stepped toward me, as if he was walking on thin ice. A trail from my dreams snaked in front of me again. Endless, alluring, it was beckoning me away from all the problems, to the new wonderful world, the world of Magic Neverland. I pulled on the zipper, opened my coat and threw it into the snow with a fast motion. Then growled. I felt like something was frantically looking for the exit underneath my skin. I went towards Semyon.
He's turning.
Fuck.
Turning.
Into a fucking retard. The clearing blew up in hysteric laughter. The Asher was clutching his stomach. Roma smirked, shaking his head. And Semyon, who was laughing the most out of the three, spat on his knuckles and waved his fist like a club. You're such a moron, Tosha. A fist collided with my mask. The fur didn't dampen the blow at all. There was no power, no magic smoke coming from the pines. I flew towards the bushes and landed on my butt. My vision, bolstered by adrenaline a moment before, returned to normal. Now that was something. I thought he'd go on all fours and tear us to bits. Like a carrot.
Yeah, did you see that, eh? Did you?
Does this count as him hopping? This was even better. I sobbed. The mask had one advantage. If I cried now, nobody would see my tears. What a loony. You belong in a loony house.
For animals, eh?
Semyon put his knee into the snow pile and ripped the glasses out of my numbed fingers.
Give my glasses back. I won't make it home.
Bullshit. Haven't you heard that bunnies have good sense of smell? So don't worry, just use it. Hibbity hop, hibbity hop. Semyon shoved the trophy into his pocket and flashed me a toothy grin. Besides, bunnies don't wear glasses. Now scram, retard. I stood up, still wobbly. The trees became a blurry dark wall. 3 bright silhouettes were wobbling around me. There were black spots on them, their eye sockets and mouths, but it looked to me like there was more of them than there should be. I turned to the forest. Semyon's boot came to my rescue, kicking me in the butt and quickening my shameful retreat.
Hibbity hop, hibbity hop.
I threw the mask into a ravine out of spite. And then zigzagged through the firebreak, alone in a giant snow-laden world. The trunks around me bent in all directions, their treetops disappeared into the darkness above me. The sky was pushing me down. I wanted to cry, but my ears were completely dry by now. Only sadness and longing were left, a desire to bury myself under the snow or leave for the Neverland, joining Vova and Senya. Who's Senya? I didn't care where to go, just somewhere far away from here, somewhere very far away. Hey, what's this? Where are your glasses, Anton? Did you lose them?
Oh, how can you be so careless? Do you think I own a money printing press?
Yeah, right, you'll be wearing your old glasses until next year. Olya rushed to me.
I saw a fox.
Surprise akin to a shotgun blast. I could only flap my lips in reply. A cup shattered into many little pieces with a loud thang. My mum let it fall from her hands. Her face was pale and her eyes were glued to the ground. This pause, just a split second, felt like an eternity. Then my mum spoke with disappointment.
First it was an owl, now it's a fox. Will you ever get tired of this? But it's true. She was so fluffy. She stood on her back legs near the hedge, just like a person. The fox called my name, but then Mum came and she fled. There was no fox. Stop making things up. Don't go near her. If it was necessary, I was ready to shake my sister as if she was a doll made of cloth. What's wrong, Tosha? Don't go, you hear me? Mum entered the hallway and gave me a surprised look. I hesitated. Well, a fox will bite you. I remembered fairy tales where foxes used to kidnap children. Imagined my Elisa, liberated, carnivorous, running through the night forest with a dangling sack in her hands. It wasn't a real fox. Tell him, Olya. She stood on 2 legs and she wore a dress. And she was real. See? Mum showed us a tired smile, as if it was the only explanation needed. I also forced myself to smile. My smile was like a thin piece of soap right before it dissolves completely on your palm. But when I was left alone with my sister, I whispered, "If you see her again, run." I shut my eyes and threw the vitamins in my mouth, washed them down with water. Please stop driving me mad, please. I was doing my homework on a Friday evening like usual. I'd already finished the hard part. There was only my art homework left, my favourite subject. I guess we draw. There doesn't seem to be much else to do here. I'm just going to take a sip of water because getting a bit of a dry mouth. Right, let's draw. I needed to draw some sort of magic beast. I wanted to draw a dino at first, but my brush reached towards the orange paint all by itself. Oh. One stroke after another, the picture of a fox slowly started forming on a piece of paper. She was almost popping out of the snow. White sheet. She stood on her back legs and wore a sly smile. My brush moved again, drawing a fluffy tail. A moment later it dropped out of my weak hand. After I finished my drawing, I spent a while studying it in surprise, as if I couldn't understand where this red beast came from. The longer I looked, the scarier her smile felt. Carnivorous, fake, like the smiles of women from adult magazines that were sold in press kiosks back in the city. An alluring smile that masked deep-seated malice, and the fox's eyes turned out red, as if bloodshot. They looked more like bullet holes you see in action movies. I don't remember drawing them this way. I moved away from the table and the lamp's light reflected from the wet paint. The drawing was glossy. It felt like the fox was watching me. Waiting. Anton! Are you deaf? I was just thinking. I'll ask you again. Have you seen your sister? She's hiding somewhere again. Something moved under my bed and I froze. Olya's dirty face peeked out with a finger pressed to her lips. Shh. Olya, I can see you. Get out of there. You're covered in dust. Olya crawled from under the bed and started dusting off her stockings, looking down. Let's go. I'll read you a fairy tale. Keep you company until you fall asleep. I want to sleep with you, not in that room. It's... Mum entered the room. Oh, what, the owl again? And what do you think? Olya, it won't come anymore. I chased it away. Olya shook her head in defiance. You didn't. And it will come. It said that it'll come every night. Oh, it talks now. Olya ignored the question and then asked with newfound determination. Can I sleep with you? Please? This will be the last time. No. Didn't you say yesterday was the last time? Olga, you're a big girl now. Why don't you let her sleep in my room? I thought it was a great idea, but Olya shook her head again. No, I don't want your room. It watches you too. I felt goosebumps all over my body. Enough! There's no owl. You're sleeping in your own room tonight. Got it? Mom, please. Please. Mum took Olya's hand and tried to lead her out of my room. Let's go, sweetie. Don't bother your brother. Olya touched the bed's head with her free hand. Or clutched, sorry. Please, please, please. I don't want to go to it. Mum was tugging Olya toward herself, but she didn't budge. Only the bed's head squeaked in agony. Dad intervened by picking Olya up and carrying her out of the room, despite her desperate protests and pleas. No, don't take me to it. He's going to watch me again. I've listened to them struggling to make my little sister go to bed for a while. In the end, my parents gave up and let Olya sleep with them. But it was surely the last time ever. When everybody settled down, I was lying in my room thinking about Olya's words. It's watching you too. I felt uncomfortable. I barely managed to calm down, only after closing the curtains in my room shut. But as soon as I closed my eyes, memories of my day started jumping around in front of me. I think that's us. I went back and when I was editing, I looked at the footage of this missing poster, and the boy's face does change each time you look at it. It becomes more devilish. I was in the middle of the stuffy school corridor. I could see the literature classroom from here, the faces of dead classical writers on their portraits, the prim and regal pose of our homeroom teacher, Lilia Pavlovna. And around that corner was her daughter Katya, a snitch and a gossip, eagerly waiting for me. Hey, transfer student! Transfer student! What do you want, Katya? She got on her tiptoes and started swaying while hiding her hands behind her back, and then asked me with a fake smile on her face, Can I ask you something? Why did you get transferred here? I might have told the truth about this to Polina. But Katya will sell it on the market for 3 kopeikas. It would be the same as printing all my thoughts and hanging them near Vova's picture for everyone to see. So I reverted to an answer I knew by heart. It's all because of my parents. Dad has a new job here, and my mum... But Katya didn't even listen to me, just rushed towards the perked-up ears of her friends, whispered something while stealing glances at me and giggling. Yeah, right. He takes all of us for fools. I've heard it's all because of his father. He crossed the road of some... that must be a Russian idiom. I'll do. He crossed some big shot and now their family's hiding in our remote little village. That's not true, you're lying. Oh, and did you hear about how he hit Baburin out of the blue? What kind of freak must you be to start bullying your classmates from day one? Stop, you know he started it. And if that wasn't enough, there are rumours that this weirdo carries a bunny mask with him wherever he goes. Who in their right mind would do something like that, eh, girls? I see our Antoshka must be truly special. Maybe he's an autist, but what if he's a serial killer? I'm sure you'll be able to find an axe in his backpack if you look hard enough, or something even worse. Yes. Shut up. Look at him scream as if something bit him. His pupils. Look how wide they are. I hope he won't go insane and resort to violence again. I mean, there must be a reason his mum always feeds him those pills, right? I just stood there in confusion, trying in vain to understand how she found out about my medicine. And what scared me even more was the possibility that her nonsense had some truth mixed in. Yes, that's right. He's as insane as his little sister. Can you imagine that she says a human-sized owl visits her every night? Yes. But not a single healthy person has seen it. And this simpleton believes her. Can you imagine that? And then I caught a single kind look from the smirking crowd. Is that true, Anton? Are you really... Are you unwell? Polina, please listen to me. Yeah, right. Don't listen to this liar, Polinochka. You don't even know that he cheated on you with someone not from our school, with Alisa. Polina slouched as if someone kicked her in the stomach and then burst out in tears and fell to the dirty floor, wailing and screaming. No! Why her, Anton? Why?
I couldn't understand her reaction, but I still rushed to Polina's side before getting shoved violently by Katja.
Get your paws off her, you monster!
Rage was building up under the veil of my fear. It slowly rose from the cloudy mist. I felt my upper lip creep up, showing my teeth.
The fact that your father beats your mother doesn't give you the right to do the same to girls.
My fists became hammers. I couldn't unclench them. Nobody can speak about my family like that. I came to my senses when I already lunged at the angry Katja.
Aha! He went nuts! Nuts! Help! Help! Petrov went completely insane!
At the same moment, the crowd around her became louder. It started whistling and roaring and growing. The subtle silhouettes of my schoolmates became larger, wider. They shot upward toward the ceiling, turned into a giant black forest, chock full of toothy faces. I shrank to a tiny ball of fur and started shaking in fear before the might of ulcer-ridden trunks that belonged to either trees or humans. It was impossible to tell.
So you've finally shown your animal nature, coward!
Katja's face was twisted with jubilation and ecstasy.
Anton! Why her? No! What makes her better than me?
Polina screamed while choking on her tears.
He is just an animal, an outsider.
A scary flapping of wings came from the forest. A pair of giant white ears descended somewhere from above, and I dug myself into them.
Anton! Anton! Please! Wake up!
I jumped up, almost falling out of bed. Apparently I was thrashing around for hours on the sweat-soaked sheets. Olya's scream pulled me out, set me free from the tentacles of fear.
Anton! Please! Wake up! Wake up!
It took my eyes a while to focus on the silhouette near the window. Olya's voice was distant. My head was still ringing after the fight. Sounds got distorted, as if my ears were stuffed with cotton. My sister, as distressed as ever, just kept on repeating the same phrase.
The owl! The owl! Please! I'm scared!
Her tears poured on my heart like boiling water, but I was almost thankful for the owl's appearance. Otherwise, this scared Olya wouldn't have woken me up.
Wait a second, Olya. You want me to read Merzilka for you?
Merzilka, a Soviet and Russian monthly illustrated magazine for kids. It has been published since 1924. The magazine uses an identified yellow creature wearing a scarf and a red beret as its mascot. Writers like Samuel Marshak and Agnieszka Barto contributed to the magazine early in their careers.
Give me...
I placed my bare heels on the cold floor. Felt around for my glasses. Remembered Semyon, his underhanded act, and sighed.
Anton, please, please, look.
She couldn't tear her eyes off the window, as if it was a staring contest. I found the light switch with my hand. The lamp poured bright light all over me. I got up. My vision fooled me, moving the window closer, only to push it farther the next moment. My sister was just a blurry spot. I took a hesitant step forward.
Olya? What's there? What happened? Do you want me to open the curtains? No, please don't. The owl is there.
The voice was coming from behind. I turned around and froze from terror. Teary-eyed Olya stood in the doorway.
Who? Who were you talking to just now?
She stared at me with eyes that were red from crying, with her hands wrapped around her shoulders. Her voice was nervous, as if she was afraid to hear my answer.
I was talking to you, to someone who pretended to be you.
Hair standing up on the back of my neck again. The ledge outside my windows creaked ominously.
as if something huge was sitting on top of it. And the thing that pretended to be Olya started spreading, changing shape, growing to scary heights under the light of a carnivorous moon. Anton, please, come closer. Come here. The voice didn't belong to my sister anymore. The thing that was hiding behind my curtains got tired of pretending, making me look like a fool. I pinched myself as hard as I could, hoping that the silhouette near the window was just a continuation of my nightmare, a hallucination, brought upon by the cursed house. And those don't bite, do they? The silhouette was towering before me under the veil of mist. I heard Olya's shrill scream when someone had knocked on the window. It came to get us! Another knock. I stepped back into the middle of the room, as if there existed nooks where I could hide from this horror. The sound was sharp, metallic. The lamp started shimmering. Then it suddenly lighted the whole room and went out like a candle in a strong wind. The filament inside it snapped with a ringing sound. The darkness that was waiting for that exact moment poured from all the angles and enveloped me. There was only this window left in the whole universe. Moonlight poured through it, painting everything the colour of bones that were exhumed from a crypt. Olya started screaming and pressed herself into my back, seeking protection. And then an eye, burning with a carnivorous fire, stared at us from the window. No, it wasn't trying to break the window. It was toying with us. It just kept on knocking, driving us mad. As if a giant clock was measuring the time left for us, its pendulum swinging above the abyss. Go away, get out, shoo! She was screaming in desperation, her hands clutching my arm like a pair of pincers. Anton, Anton, come closer. I could barely make out a pair of wings that spread out above the black spot. Tell her, Anton. Tell her that I won't be a bad girl anymore. Never ever. I just wanted to leave. Please. The moonlight suddenly disappeared and the room descended into darkness. We couldn't see the burning eye anymore. I swallowed the stingy lump that was stuck in my throat. I stepped towards the curtains, entranced by the call of this disfigured guest. Olya was standing behind me, mumbling, I'll be good, I'll be good, I'll be good. The bleak window was creeping closer. Curtains rustled. I reached out to move them aside so I could look my fear in the eye. At that moment I heard noise coming from our parents' bedroom. Without thinking, I pulled the curtain to the side in one swing. Nothing. Though there was something shining on the ledge, among the scattered feathers. My glasses. Shapes of birds' feet there as well. The ones that Semyon took from me. How did they get here? Was that a gift from the gurgling night? Did that owl really bring them here? I looked at the front yard, at the foreboding clearing, at the toothy forest. Not a soul. Not a trace of our late-night guest. Only the old lamppost dreaming like a lone watchman among the snowy desert. The dry window frame creaked. I tore away the insulating tape and the stipes of glued newspapers. Opened the window with big trouble. Frost pinned me with its little needles. The paintings on my walls moved from the draught. I touched my glasses. Sure, they would melt in my hands. But they were real. My brain was scrambling for an explanation. Semyon and his gang just pulled a prank on me. That was it. That's it. A smooth white blanket was glittering under the street lamp just outside our yard. If anybody was to get close to the house, to climb the pipe to the ledge of my window, they would surely leave footprints. but there were none. I cautiously took my glasses. My wrist was still intact. Nobody pulled me into the darkness, full of restless writhing. "Why aren't you in bed?" I swayed from surprise and almost fell out of the window. "Are you out of your mind? Did it feel hot in here? Did you want to catch a cold?" "The owl was here. Tosha chased it away." "Go to your room immediately and get in your bed." "And you?" Mum paused, directing her seething eyes at me. She was thinking of a punishment equivalent to my crime, opening his window. In the end, she just waved her hand, took Olya by the shoulder and left, throwing gloomy words my way. "We'll talk tomorrow." I managed to get the frame back in place with a couple of hits, pressed in the latches with all the strength my fingers could muster. The cold left the room, but the fear was still present. I placed my glasses on my nose and started studying my reflection in the window. It didn't look like a face, more like a death mask, just like the one worn by the boy from the notice board. That night, I was on the edge of joining him there. Ooh. Ooh. A black and white face was staring at me through the clearing between student heads. And it wasn't Vova. His face was right beside it. I recognized the fat cheeks, the damaged skin. Attention, child missing. Semyon Baburin, 13 years old, grade 6. He left for school in the morning of January 16th and never returned. Features, 155 to 160 centimeters tall, chubby, brown hair and grey eyes. Was wearing a dark brown sheepskin coat and a beige scarf, a black mink hat and Alaska boots. Semyon. Baburin's photo was printed out and placed under the glass like an exhibition piece. Cool. Right, well, this seems like a good point to end it, so we'll leave it here for now, at the beginning of Chapter 3, and I think this is the final chapter that's been released. I'm not 100% sure on that, but possibly going to take another 1, maybe 2 episodes, depending on how long it takes to get through. But thanks very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I can. This feels like good October fodder. I mean, considering it's, I would think, written in Russian, and I know there are a few typos here and there, but I think the language used and the way it's presented is very evocative. I think it's brilliantly written, personally. I mean, I've played, English language games that weren't half as brilliantly descriptive as this one is. I mean, when I'm reading aloud, we're at a sort of very tense part, and the music's building, and the language used is, getting quite eerie, and the images on the screen are, getting a bit creepy as well. I mean, I really do get a little chill down the nape of my neck where the little hairs stand on end. So hopefully that comes across for people who are watching, because it's a very atmospheric game. This sounds like I'm kind of reaching a conclusion, but I'm not. I'm very enthusiastic about this game. And I hope that comes across. But we'll leave it there for now. We'll come back next time and perhaps finish it off, for another 2 episodes perhaps to finish episode 3. We'll find out. Thanks very much for watching. If you did enjoy this, then please do hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. That would be absolutely amazing. And in the meantime, I hope to see you again for more Tiny Bunny. Bye for now.